All right, guys, welcome back to Relegation Battle. We'll get into your guys' game this weekend. Man United vs Chelsea. It was another 0-0, unfortunately, because it was quite boring for the neutrals as well. Ty, we'll start with you. How did you analyse Chelsea's performance at home?
I mean, it was good until we got into the final third. Like I think, start off with our defense. I think our defense was really good. Christensen, he just keeps proving me wrong every game now. Slowly starting to forgive him for the last 2-3 years, but midfield was good, Kovacic and Kante, but it's just the same thing with them two, just progressing that ball forward. That's always been the problem, and it was the problem yesterday. But then it was just when we got into that final third, it was awful. Hakim Ziyech again, man, is poor. He was good in the second half. He was all right, but then in the first half, he was awful. I mean, wasted loads of chances to play people in. That's one of the reasons why we signed him, to play that final pass that we were lacking last season. But there was a moment where I think Hudson-Odoi gave it to him, and then he carried on his run, and then Ziyech just booted out of play. So, I mean, that was just... And then I think Mount was good again. He looked like the only one that was really causing some kind of threat. But even he, in the final third, wasn't good yesterday. But yeah, I think Tuchel could have brought on Werner a bit sooner, and then maybe we could have switched up a little bit, because I think that's the only reason why Man United were pressing up so high, is because they saw that Werner weren't playing. It was Giroud, so we're not really going to have any pacing behind. But, it was just one of them games. It's like most of the top six games this season, just dead.
Yeah, Jack's another 0-0 for you guys against the top six team. This time it's away from home, so I guess it's not the worst result. But what do you think of United's overall performance?
I'm a bit of a tie. It was good up until the final third. I mean, so many times had the build-up play was good. We good passing, stuff like that. But that final ball was never there. To be fair, I've never seen Maguire and Lindelof play so high together before. Whenever we play with Lindelof, they always drop back, and because they're too slow. But our fullbacks were bombing on. We were pressing Chelsea's wing-backs really high up. Didn't expect that, which is why I thought Tuchel maybe could have brought on or changed something at half-time. I thought if he brought on Werner at half-time, he would have probably won that game. But he didn't. I mean, we should have had a penalty. Wasn't given. But the overall game, it was just a bit dead from both teams.
Yeah, I feel like the penalty decision, or not to give the penalty, was probably the highlight of the game. I didn't watch the second half. I can't lie, it was just too boring for me. I went to sleep, but I don't think anything happened in it, luckily. The penalty decision is an interesting one, because we obviously discussed it. Jackie thinks penalty, Ty, you're 50-50 on it, which is fair. I'm a bit more on Hudson-Odoi side, I'd say, but I can see why it would be a penalty if it was given. So in that case, for me, I feel like it's just down to the ref. Fair enough, whatever the ref says goes, because at the end of the day, it's down to his interpretation as well. So it would be fair if the ref just went with what he thought. But if Luke Shaw has come out and said the ref thought it was a penalty, or he told Maguire he thinks it's a penalty, but he didn't give it because he's afraid of, say, what the press might say or what someone else might say, that for me is just a bit wrong. Jack, what do you make of that?
I mean, when I was listening to, if we lose, I never listen to the after match, but I listened to it, and when I was listening to Luke Shaw, I heard that and I thought, have I just misheard him? So I waited a bit, went on Twitter, and I heard it again. And I just thought, how can a referee say he thinks it's a penalty but can't give it because he's scared of the backlash that's going to happen? How can you tell the Man United captain? They told me it was a penalty. I went and checked it. I probably thought it was a penalty, but I didn't want to get slated for it. So fuck it, I'm not going to give it. I think that's unacceptable.
Yeah, because if I'm correct, Ollie and Luke Shaw both haven't been disciplined or whatever for it, charged for it. So I'm guessing it must be true then, which is...
What is Ollie talking about? You hear the stuff he was coming out with?
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, I
No, but
agreed with him.
come on. No, but some of the stuff he was saying though, like, come
he
on.
brought up Lampard because Lampard was the first one to say it. But I get he's not the manager. I get he's not the manager of Chelsea anymore. But it was last season. He said it before the FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah,
And Zuma kicked through the back of Martial in the box. Should have been a penalty. Didn't give it. He said it again this season. Klopp has said it. And ever since then, we should have had a penalty against Fulham. Didn't get it. Should have had a penalty somewhere else. Didn't get it. Because managers want to sway the referee.
Yeah, but this guy was even mentioning like certain websites or something about Harry Maguire and all that kind of stuff, and it was just getting a bit weird.
No, you see his point there, because I think it was the Maguire and Aspie picture from early in the season that Chelsea used on their website before the game, just to, like, almost show the referees, don't do it again.
That's wrong. I don't know. I'm sorry, Ty, but I literally don't know what's wrong with him saying. He's saying the Chelsea website are putting up talking about Harry Maguire. Yeah, they should have been penalties. Yeah, it probably should have been a red card in that Carabao Cup game. But it doesn't. They shouldn't make that the reason why referees aren't giving penalties for, just because you can't in the game you can balance out, but the next game you can't. I think that's wrong. So I think he's got every right to say that.
Yeah, but was it a clear penalty?
He brings his hand up to Greenwood's shoulder. His hand starts next to his body, and his hand makes a movement towards the ball,
But
and then it hits his hand.
if he's a clear penalty, no, it doesn't matter. But if he thinks it's a pen and says and not giving it because he's
but then
afraid of it.
That's the worst
I
thing.
saw something. I don't know if this is true, but I saw something like Man United came out and said that, like, or there was something about Luke Shaw just mishearing him or something like that. I could be wrong. But I read something about that earlier.
Because you got players and managers got to be very careful now what they say about referees and officiating, because they'll get fined, banned, everything. So what happened was they just came out and said, Luke Shaw misheard what Maguire said, to try and backtrack what he said, because I know he's been, but because just in case it wasn't true and he said that, he would have got probably a hefty ban and like a big fine. So it was just saying, he misheard. It was just in the heat of the moment. He was angry, blah, blah, blah. But obviously, like Joel said, now that nothing's going to happen to him, it probably suggests that he wasn't lying.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think in the grand scheme of things, it was more like, to be fair, like United didn't have to come there and win the game anyway, really. Because like they're already second. Leicester dropped points. So, I mean, United, they're in a good position. We needed to win that game, really, because now we go to Anfield needing to win, like if we obviously we drew yesterday. Now, if we go and win on Thursday, then, I think people's opinion is going to change. I think people are getting onto Thomas Tuchel a bit too much. Like, he's come in, he sorted out our defense, which was leaking goals, and he's made the midfield's not getting exposed as much as it was. But then again, the guy's not a miracle worker. He's not going to turn like all these forward players into clinical finishers straight away. Like, that was never. If anyone expected that straight away, that was never going to happen. But yeah, so I think we bottled it, really, to be honest. But yeah, on to Thursday.
Yeah, I mean,
the moment that pissed me off was Joel. The last minute when McTominay went a counter attack, and McTominay literally, James, Martial, and Rashford were just sprinting down the pitch, running past every Chelsea player. And I get he's tired, but it's just a simple ball across the box, and Rashford's got a tap in basically, and he played it straight to Kante. I'm thinking, you donut. And Chelsea should have had a red card as well.
Mason Mount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then saying that,
you can't think that's not a red either.
Bro, Fred's tackle could have been a red card in itself.
Well, the scissor.
Yeah, man, that was dirty.
The scissor never.
The only reason why I say that is just because of how VAR has been. Obviously, Mount probably should have been red carded as well, but then Fred's tackle was, just the way VAR has been recently. You just never know.
And I was watching it. The commentators literally saw it twice, or the replay came on twice, and they literally didn't say one thing about it at all. And I don't even think VAR checked it. I thought that was bad. I thought as soon as I saw it,
everyone just loves Mason Mount. That's just what it is, man.
Yeah, obviously I'm guessing that was in the second half because I didn't see it, but
yeah,
I was watching the replay and I think Gary Neville was just talking over it. I couldn't believe that he didn't bring it up or didn't see Mount just go for it. But maybe that's that. So
It is what it is.
there's 6 points between you two right now. I mean, I guess the question for you guys is, Jack, do you think you can stay in top four? And Ty, do you think you can break into it?
Jack, you go
I mean,
first.
like Ty said then, I think that result, even though we wanted to win, that result's probably better for us because we were already 6 points ahead of them. If we lost, it would have been 3 and it would have been tougher. But it's still 6 points. Wasn't too bad. I feel like, because I don't know my team. My team's strange sometimes. I feel like we can get top 4, probably can finish second. We just can't lose our focus. I think Pogba's coming back in the next couple of weeks, Cavani in the next couple of weeks. So if we can finish the season strongly, then yeah, we'll get it, no doubt.
Yeah, with us, it's just because defensively we're great at the moment. Midfield is fine. If we can find a way to just be more clinical up front, and definitely. But this is like I've said it for a few weeks now. Yeah, this is probably our last hope. It might not even work. I know he's done it at Leverkusen, but I just want to see Kai Havertz just tried in his false 9 position, just because. Like I watched him last season. I know he can create and I know he can score. So like, if that works, you know, him linking up with Werner and then Mount, hopefully, yeah, if that works, then we'll definitely get it. But if we don't sort out this whole final third issue, then I don't think so.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, 2 teams also in the top 4 play this week, Man City and West Ham. Man City winning 2-1, but West Ham putting up a good performance. Antonio maybe should have scored 2 in the first half, but he did get 1 in the end. Tied City 20 wins in a row now. Do you see them stopping at any point this season?
No, not at all. I don't look at any team and say, oh, they've got what it takes to beat City. I don't see any weaknesses. Like I thought Zinchenko at left back was a weakness, but he still looks decent. Like it's mad. But I don't see that. I don't see them stopping anytime. Now they've got De Bruyne back as well. And it's just a wrap for everyone else. And at the moment, they just look like they're going to win everything. But who knows?
Yeah, I mean, both the centre backs are good form of scoring as well now, which is a big point for everyone else. But Jack, on the other end of things at West Ham, they're doing well, 4th place right now. We're talking about Lingard, obviously on loan from United, but we saw Harvey Barnes get injured this weekend. Don't know how serious it is, but it's a knee injury. World Cup qualifiers coming up for England. Would you get Lingard involved?
You've got to wait and see in the next 2 to 3 games because he had a good start, but I think that's always going to happen when he hasn't played for ages. He's probably not been the best, hasn't had the best morale. So going to a new club, new environment, probably give him that boost, give him that confidence. So maybe if 2 to 3 games, we'll see. And if he's still, in my opinion, England's team should be based off of form, realistically. If you're playing good, you should get picked. I mean, unless you're playing good for 1 game before the internationals, then no. But if you're playing well, then you should get picked. So if he's playing well for the next 2, 3, 4 games, then he's worth a shout. And I think Rodgers came out and said he might be out for about 6 weeks. 6 weeks, Harvey Barnes.
I reckon Lingard will get picked because even if you look at the World Cup, Southgate picked him in every game. So I think the only reason why he wasn't getting picked before is just because he wasn't playing games. So I reckon we will see Lingard in the next squad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long Maddison's out for as well because he was injured for the last couple of games too. So maybe that could see Lingard included, but obviously...
And Grealish is injured as well.
Yeah. So maybe Lingard, Mount, and...
Maybe back to Lingard, Dele Alli.
Maybe, yeah, Dele Alli's in one as well. Hopefully that won't happen though, but we'll see. We'll go on to Liverpool. It was a 2-0 win over Sheffield United last night. I want to talk about Roberto Firmino though. I don't know if you guys saw the game or the highlights of the game. So first off, Firmino misses probably the easiest one-on-one you'll ever see. You could say Ramsdale made a good save, but he should be scoring as a Premier League striker. And then the own goal, Firmino took a shot. I reckon the shot was probably going out for a throw-in, but luckily it's been deflected in. Like honestly, if you saw where the shot was going, it was terrible. Do you think he holds the key right now to get Liverpool going a bit? Because when they were firing, he was unbelievable. He was linking up well with Salah and Mane. He's getting the ball out wide, finishing them. Is he the key to get Liverpool back to where they were without, like, for now, without Van Dijk and Alisson?
He can be. I mean, I don't think he's that great as an actual striker because I feel like his finishing lets him down a lot. But he's got a lot of flair, and with Mane and Salah, you don't really them two goals alone. You don't need to score every game with them two. So I guess if he can bring back that spark he had to link up the play, then there's no doubt that Liverpool can get back. Not to win a league this year because they won't, but can get back firing again, probably slapping teams like they haven't been this season. They can get back to there and they can get in the top four if their front three is firing, especially Firmino.
Are you disagree?
I don't know. I think because Klopp was speaking about Diego Jota yesterday, so I reckon he said that they could be back for Chelsea, which is just of course. But I think personally, because we saw it earlier on this season, Jota, I think he benefited. I think he linked up better. I think he's linked up better with Mane and Salah this year. We saw it in some Champions League games, like I think it was Atalanta. I think they beat them 5-0. And we saw them all three of them just linking up really well. And then it was when he got injured, that was when the Liverpool dip really started, when he got injured in the Champions League game. So I think Jota is more key this season than Firmino has been.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think him returning will definitely be a big boost to them. Unlucky for Chelsea, of course. But yeah, I think that dip definitely start with him there. But obviously, Adrian's in goal now. Obviously, Alisson's out, I think, for personal reasons. I'm not sure if there's injury as well, though, but there's obviously that personal reason. But I think Chelsea can definitely capitalize on Adrian being in goal because he wasn't really tested yesterday, but he's not a good keeper. We saw that early in the season.
He's not.
If we can actually hit the target once, that would be a start.
Yeah. So I think Villa actually, even though they still had Grealish missing, they did beat Leeds this week as well, 1-0. It was a big win for them because obviously then you make use of the games in hand. Brighton is another team I'll talk about. So one thing, obviously you guys know I have a league and agenda. I have an agenda against XG as well. I think it's the most pointless stat that's ever been invented. It generally means nothing because you're just basically saying, they had more shots on target from a better range, so they should score more goals. And it just means absolutely nothing. I think Brighton have probably one of the highest XGs in the league, but they've proved it means nothing because they cannot score a goal to save their lives.
2 penalties missed.
I think first one was Pascal Gross and then Danny Welbeck as well later in the game. But do you guys see the big incident in the game or not? The free kick.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. For me, that is extremely unfair towards Brighton, in my opinion, because I cannot see why he's blown the whistle the second time and why he should stop it, but the ball's pretty much almost in the back of the net. I think he blew it just before. What do you guys think of it?
I think why blow the whistle in the first place? I feel like I've seen Lewis Dunk's interview after, and he said he told the referee that he's going to kick it. The referee said, "Okay, blew his whistle, it's going in," and the referee blows the second whistle just before the line. Why blow it again? You've just said he can take it. It's not his fault the keeper's not ready yet. The keeper should have done that quickly and get back into goal. He said he's going to take it. Ref said, okay, blew the whistle. Then you blow it again. Man, this week has been awful refereeing decisions.
Hey, the referees, they're just scared of everything now, isn't it? Like, they're just scared of what, like, if they're going to, I reckon it's like fear of just getting loads of unnecessary abuse. Like, obviously, Mike Dean was getting death threats a few weeks ago and all that sort of stuff. So I just don't get it. Like, no, I agree with Jack. Like, why blow the whistle in the first place? Like, that was a good finish as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it last season as well. The same person, Dunk, scored at Liverpool, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And by that time it counted. The referee, the whistle, I think must have been Adrian and might have been Addison, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was Adrian.
Yeah, I don't think he was ready in the sense of he's properly set, but
yeah,
took the free kick and scored. So I think Brighton are unlucky there because that does put them a lot closer to the relegation zone. The 3 points off Fulham now. Newcastle's still in between them, but I think Graham Potter's been a bit unlucky as well because they are playing decent football, creating chances,
just
but
not scoring at all.
exactly.
Is Lamptey still injured?
Yeah.
It's been out for a while, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's probably the worst thing as a manager when you can see that your side's creating chances, but there's no one finishing them because that's the one thing you can't do.
Saying.
You make the tactics to create the chances. It's just the strikers thing to finish them, but
Yeah,
exactly.
that might see them go down, unfortunately. I'll say unfortunately, I don't really care. Arsenal beat Leicester, of course. Good result for both of you guys. It was a good game apart from that one goal we conceded. It was Xhaka made the initial mistake. He came out and said that, which I thought was a bit weird because I didn't initially put on him. I thought it was El Neni because Mari's gone to Mark Vardy. Luis eventually came across, but I don't think he shouted to Mari in time. But El Neni's just not tracked anyone. So it's just frustrating to look at when Tielemans just runs through unopposed, puts it past Leno. But after that, we came back strong, I think. I don't think we...
The agents come in clutch.
Willian assisting Luis is something I thought I'd never see in my life. But there you go. Willian played unbelievably, I think. On the ball, off the ball. He set the pace for the attack. Exactly. But good assist for Pepe as well. And Pepe was unbelievable. I felt sorry for, I think it was Thomas at left back for them. Got a yellow card, had to be subbed off at half time because Pepe was just a bit too slick.
Rinsed.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think Leicester, they'll make top four. I'm being serious. I think now that they've just got so many injuries again, similar to last year, I feel like they're just going to drop out again. And it's kind of peak because it's happened 2 years in a row now. And it's not really, it's just kind of, it's out of Brendan Rodgers' control.
Yeah, exactly. Because Fofana was brilliant for them. He's obviously gone out. So Soyuncu's, he's all right, but he's not really doing as well as he was last season. Then you've got Maddison, who's also their best creative player. Vardy being off form is a big hit for them as well.
And players like Justin as well. Evans went off yesterday. So.
Then Barnes as well, who's been great for them. Another big miss. So definitely can't see them slipping out again, which obviously Chelsea and Liverpool will be looking at as well. But yeah, I think it's definitely unlucky for Brendan Rodgers because there's nothing he can do about it. It just happened last season as well. But I think that is a big reason why we beat them as well. Obviously, we made the changes. I think 6 changes. It definitely wasn't our strongest team, but that Leicester team being weak as it was definitely aided us a lot to play the way we did because I think Luis was good. Mari, apart from the first goal, I guess you say was good. Xhaka was unbelievable. He played 90 minutes against Benfica as well, and then put in that performance. So I think he was good. Smith Rowe, he went down against Benfica as well, I think. So hopefully the injury isn't too bad. But if Odegaard can get it going, he wasn't too bad, just a couple stoppy passes. But if he can get going, I think we're in a good position because Lacazette scoring, Aubameyang scoring right now. It's a tough couple of games coming up for us. I think it's Burnley away. We should beat them, but we've got Olympiacos after that, Spurs, and then Olympiacos again. So you can't even rest anyone.
What's Arsenal's aim now? Is it just Europa League, and then can they break into top 6, or is it too much?
That's the thing. So the table right now, we're 6 points off Liverpool. So that means we're 7 points off you guys.
Yeah.
The league's so close because, like I think I said a couple of weeks ago, there's always going to be 2 teams or 4 teams who will play each other each week. So someone's definitely going to drop points, maybe both. So I don't think we can say the league's completely done with 12 games to go. But at the same time, when you look at it, we're 10th in the league, or Europa League still there as well. I think we have to push a bit more in Europa League. I don't think Arteta is doing that as well. But when you have Spurs at home in between those 2 games, you cannot rest for that because that's just a big game in itself, which I think it's going to be a problem for us maybe. But I don't know. I would say I'll be disappointed if we gave up on the league this early because it is still close. I don't think we'll get top 4, but top 6 is still there. I don't want to be in this Conference League thing next year at all. And the thing Europa League is, unless we make some big signings next season that Arteta wants, we're not going to be ready for Champions League. So I think that's a problem for us because obviously I'd love to win the Europa League, but we need signings like the signings Arteta wants to.
I reckon you'll make signings because you obviously got rid of all them players.
Yeah,
like
but
They can make
and all them
signings, but what kind of signings
Yeah.
are they going to make?
we definitely need a right back because Bale and
Yeah.
Cedric's. I don't like Cedric personally, but him and Bale aren't up to scratch for me. We need a backup left back.
Yeah.
We probably need a centre back. I don't know what the Saliba situation is. I'm hearing he's not getting drilled past that Nice, but I also saw the mistake he made on the weekend, so I don't know what's going on with him. Like, because I don't care about League. And Sally, I don't know. Xhaka and Partey are all right at the moment, but Sabias isn't doing too bad. I think it's 20 mil to sign him on a permanent deal, so I'm not too sure. Because if that 20 mil is coming from another player's transfer fee, I'd rather do that than sign Sabias permanently. But if you have 20 mil lying around, which I don't think we do, I don't think it's a bad signing.
Mm.
On the wing, Saka, Pepe, Martinelli, maybe Banding for the count as a winger.
Yeah, you got depth there, I think.
Yeah, and then striker Lacazette was linked with Monaco this week for next season. He's going to his last year of his contract next year as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if we sold him. But exactly, I think we were linked with Edson Odward. Yeah.
Why you lot don't just sign if you need a left winger, then just play a Aubameyang up top because I mean he's not gonna. Will he still be able to do a job at left wing next season? I don't know.
I think it just depends on our signings. Like, if we just rely all on him or like try just setting crosses again, it's not going to work. We need something to work better through the middle or just give him more options as a team. But yeah, I think we need to make a couple not big signs, but just the right signings, shall I say, if you want to win the Europa League and be ready for Champions League, which I don't think we will be.
You can have Tammy for 30 million.
I'd rather not do that. I just don't rate Tammy personally. I think.
No, he's not.
How
he's
old
not good enough for a 23, 24. That's what I'm saying. If he was 21, I'd give him more time. But he's not good enough for a top 6 team in my opinion.
But 23 is still young though, because you guys made the same mistake with De Bruyne, with Lukaku, with Salah.
Yeah, but
you sell them and you buy him back for more later. So like 20.
No, but the thing is, with Lukaku, we loaned him out to West Brom, and I think he still scored quite a few goals. Like with Tammy, he turns up against Championship teams in the FA Cup and then relegation teams in the Premier League. Like when we need him in the big games, he's not there. Like we saw it against Spurs in like November, where every time the ball was put on the plate for him, he just can't hit the ball. Like we need more from our strikers. That's why I think that should be the main priority in the summer to get a new striker. And if he doesn't want to sign a new deal, then we need to sell him as well.
Yeah. I think if I chose, I would risk selling him, probably not to a rival at least. Maybe if it was someone a bit lower in the table, then maybe risk it. But
I think that's just the main. I think it's because he's apparently stalling on a new contract. So I think if he's entering the last year, they'd rather just cash in and lose him for free. Right?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. But yeah, I think that's the thing. I think that's what you tweet about. I was going to say, you've seen it with De Bruyne, with Lukaku, Salah.
Yeah.
It's just a risk if you sell him at 23 and he goes on later. But
the one player I'm worried about that being with is Tomori, because at the moment he's doing absolute bits in Milan. So I'm hoping that we don't. Yeah, just who knows what's going to happen with him.
I think Maldini came out this week and said, they're interested in making a permanent deal. I think it was 20 or 30 million as well for it. So
yeah, I think it's 25 million. I think.
Yeah. I think they said one of them that's higher up in AC Milan said it's a lot of money for them. So I don't know what's going on with them financially.
I mean, if they're not gonna pay it, I'll happily take Tomori back. So
yeah, I think that's fair enough. But well, Tom's not here, so we'll go on to Spurs now. Gareth Bale is doing really well right now. Great performance against Burnley. I mean, you can only play what's in front of you. How threatening do you think can be? A front three of Bale, Kane, Son, and potentially even an informed Dele Alli coming back.
I mean, if they're fit, if they're on form, one of the top 3, 4 in the league. I mean, Kane's best striker in the league. Son, you're looking at one of the best wingers in the league. And Bale, we all know his quality. He just needs to show it. And that Burnley game, he was brilliant. So I think they can cause anyone problems with that front three. And I know obviously it's only Burnley, but like you said, you're going to play what's in front of you, and he was they were all excellent to be fair.
Yeah, I think Lucas Moura also played really well in that game. Could have easily beaten them probably 6 or 7-0. Tied for Spurs, they're 8th in the table right now. They're not completely away from top 4. They're getting a bit of depth in the attack as well now. They'd have to rely solely on Kane and Son. Would you push a bit more in the Prem rather than Europa?
I think they should still go for Europa League just because obviously they have had that long trophy drought. But yeah, I mean, if Bale gets back to it, then I mean, you can't write him out of the top 4 race. You just can't, especially if Kane and Son are firing. I'm happy we've already played them twice. So yeah, but that's the thing. I think Bale just needed a run of games. He's never really had it since he's come back to Spurs. Really, like he's only played Europa League games. But now, I mean, yeah, like Jack said yesterday, he was phenomenal, looking close to being back to his best. So yeah, I mean, you can't write him out.
Yeah, after I saw that Bale finish in I think it was his second goal, I'm not looking forward to playing them in like 2 weeks' time, I can't lie. I was like, okay, he's playing like this, okay. But, if he's back to his best, obviously, he's Spurs, I'm happy for him because he's a good player, I think.
Yeah.
It was a bit disappointing to see the way his Real Madrid career is deteriorating really quickly as well. So if he's firing, fair enough to him. Elsewhere, I think you talk about AC Milan there. I'm pretty sure they won on the weekend, but Inter Milan did. Yeah, AC Milan beat Roma. I think Inter Milan won 3-0, and I think it was Lukaku, Sanchez, and Darmian all scored. So maybe
the rejects. The Man United rejects.
United could have used those goals against Chelsea, I guess. I think Juventus drew on the weekend, so it's not good for them. But Inter Milan is starting to pull away from them. Good week for PSG. They won and Monaco won, but Lyon and Lyon both drew. So I think it's 4 points separating first and fourth in that league. So it might be bad quality football, but it's definitely getting a bit more interesting at least. Bundesliga, I believe Dortmund won. Yeah, Sancho and Haaland, I'm pretty sure did quite well again. They did that celebration. That's all I can really remember. But I know Sancho definitely scored. I think De Hood might have scored again as well.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah. I want to say Bayern won quite easily, like 5-0.
5-1.
5-1, sorry, yeah. So maybe their Champions League game has helped them get that form back and get them that ruthlessness back as well. What's the other league? La Liga. Real Madrid playing tonight. So Atletico Madrid are starting to lose their lead a bit as well. So Barca and Real could really push them. Barca won the weekend against Sevilla. Messi goal and assist. Clearly was playing against them. So pressure's on Real Madrid tonight to keep that pressure on those two as well. I'm not sure if Benzema is going to be fit though. Other than that, relegation battle in England, West Brom, big 3 points, but they're still 9 points off safety. Newcastle, I think Newcastle, Brighton, and Fulham are the ones that have to be a bit wary of relegation. I still think Fulham will be all right. I reckon it'll be Newcastle, West Brom, and obviously Sheffield United. That's just my prediction anyway, but I could be wrong. I think I saw on Twitter this week. I think Brighton's the last game of the season against us at home. So if we relegate them, AFTV Ty is going to be
going off.
Yeah, so no one's going to be happier than him. I think other news, Barca obviously came out today. They were not raided, but like they're being investigated by the police. I think Josep Bartomeu has been arrested as well because he hired a social media expert or person to spread, I don't know, fake news or false rumors about players, making a negative press essentially. I'm not sure why he did that.
So corrupt.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's not looking good. He allegedly hired them to publicly discredit players and staff. So, yeah, it's corrupt's the perfect word to describe that club at the moment. But then Chinese football team, Jiangsu FC. So if you guys play FIFA. It's the team that Alex Sixero plays for, and Adair.
Yeah.
They've just shut the club down out of nowhere. The champions from last season, they just shut the club down. I guess they just weren't feeling it, but they're also Inter Milan, but I don't think they'll be doing that Inter Milan anytime soon, because there'll be some next level riots if they try doing that. But it definitely caught me off guard that the champions just randomly just like, we're done. So other than that, I don't think any other news, unless you guys got anything for it.
Can I just mention something about the Liverpool versus Sheffield United game?
Yeah.
I don't know if you lot saw. I just saw it today. There was a challenge made by Tyrese's guy, Ampadu.
Oh yeah.
On Mane, and there was clear contact. He dived in. Mane had gone past him, clear contact, but Mane didn't go to the floor.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been a dive, but let's just say he didn't dive to win the penalty, and it didn't get given. I just wanted to know what you lot think about like not going to the floor, meaning you're not going to get a penalty.
Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, it just proves why Salah does what he does. Because if Mane goes down there, it's definitely a penalty, in my opinion. And I think there's enough contact to be a penalty. So you can understand why Salah, you know, he might look like he's getting shot. That's why he does what he does.
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember Gary Neville saying something about that like years ago. He was I think it was a West Ham game, and he was saying how I think a challenge came in, and then he was saying that how he should have just gone down, because if he goes down, it's a penalty. Like, this is the thing. Like, if you want players to stop diving, you need to just still give penalties even if they don't go down. Like, fair play to Mane for not going down.
Yeah,
but you know, like that's why players dive. Like, because
exactly.
if you don't go down, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, like we can say fair play, but it doesn't give him a goal, innit? So yeah, I'm sure he would rather prefer a goal, which is
yeah.
I mean, Jack, what do you think about it? Do you think maybe should just go down?
I mean, in theory, yeah. It's not like he's cheating. If there was no contact, he's gone down. Then no, you shouldn't do that. But for me, there was clear contact. He goes down. It's a definite penalty for me. So, yeah, I think he should just go down and it's a pen.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, this is about to end, so we'll wrap it up there for this week. There's no Champions League or Europa League football this week. I think there's just some Prem action, if I'm correct. So probably we'll just come back next Monday, refreshed, ready for Thursday night football again, and obviously whatever Champions League day Chelsea are playing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, whatever it is. But yeah, until then, have a nice.
Before I think it's time to talk. I think it's time we sit down and just say what's going on. I think we should say